Hi everyone, my name is Lin Chen and welcome to my channel. I'm currently a second year MBA student studying at Cornell University. So today I'm going to discuss a very interesting topic asked to me by many prospective MBA students. The question is, do MBA students really sleep 5 hours a day? This topic first arose when I was researching for my MBA, and I was reading a lot of article forums whereby current MBA students were sharing that they were sleeping on the average 4 to 5 hours a day because of their busy commitment. And at that point of time, it kind of scared me a little because I was someone who couldn't really function unless I sleep for 7 to 8 hours a day. So it kind of made me want to rethink my decision to pursue an MBA at that point of time. So having been through 80% of my MBA journey, today I'm going to dissect whether this notion is true and exactly how much sleep do MBA students get on the average. So before I start off, I separated my MBA journey into 3 different phases. So the first phase is the pre-recruiting season, which was between July 2019 to August 2019 for me. And the second phase, which was probably the most intense, definitely the busiest period, it was the recruiting season between September 2019 to March of 2020. And lastly, the post-recruiting season, which was from between April 2020 to now. So in this video, we will directly dive into my recruiting season because it was by far the busiest. And at any point of time, if I need to sleep only 5 hours a day, it is definitely during this recruiting season. So as an overview, the recruiting season lasted about 7 months for me, and my main commitments were attending company briefings, doing company research, networking with second years and alums, attending classes, doing homework, doing team projects, attending professional club meetings, and lastly, social time with friends. So the first screenshot that you guys are seeing right now is a rather typical week of mine during the fall recruiting season. My activities are all color-coded, so it's rather easy for me to visualize and review when I'm planning my schedule. My classes and assignments are all in blue, projects, meetings in green, recruiting activities in red, and leisure activities in yellow. As you can see, my days generally do not start very early. The earliest class I had was at about 10 a.m. So normally I typically wake up at about 9 a.m. And for this semester, I was taking 3 core classes, which is actually the default amount of class assigned to us by the school. So honestly, my class hours were really not that bad. So starting from Monday, I started my day at 9 a.m. with a project meeting. Then I attended 3 core classes with a lunch break in between. At night, I went back to campus to attend a company briefing. Then I ended my day by allocating 2 hours to complete my assignments and reading for the next day. So for a typical weekday like this, I sleep usually at around 1 a.m. because I prefer to spend the final 1 to 2 hours of my day for my own personal stuff. My schedule for Tuesday is pretty similar. My class ended at noon for that day, so I stay around in school to complete my assignments and readings in the afternoon. Then in the evening, I attended professional club meetings and company briefings. I do not have any classes on Wednesday, so I actually met up with a few classmates to play outdoor basketball. Then I went to school in the evening for a short professional meeting and ended my day by doing more assignments and readings. Thursday is essentially our final day of the week because we don't have any classes on Fridays. So after my morning classes, I stay around in school again because I will be meeting 2 second year seniors for informationals, whereby I can consult them on some recruiting topics. Certain weeks, I may have more informationals up to 4 or 5, but because this week there are several company briefings, so I did not want to schedule too many informationals. And lastly, I ended my week by attending another company briefing late at night. Friday is basically already weekend for me, so I went to the gym in the afternoon and met up with some of my friends for hot pot gathering at night. I did not show my calendar for weekends because my weekends are typically quite free. Normally, I will go out on Saturdays to meet friends, and for Sunday, usually I will rest early in the day and I might spend a few hours in the evening or at night to complete my schoolwork and do some complete research and recruiting stuff. So as you can see, I can actually achieve 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day by sticking to this schedule. Of course, there will be certain weeks whereby all the events are just crammed together, so we might get slightly less sleep during that week. But normally those are the anomalies. And typically, most of my average work week during my recruiting season will be something like this. The second timetable I'm showing right now is during the interview season in March of 2020, right before the pandemic started. So I was taking 4 classes at that point of time, and my classes were all in the afternoon. So I kind of get to sleep in a bit and wake up at about 9 to 10 a.m. every day. So during the interview season, we could have one or multiple interviews throughout the week. And for this particular week, I have one super day virtual interview with a tech company which lasted 4 hours. So starting from Monday, my classes start after lunch. Then in the evening, I had an hour of project meeting, followed by a mock interview that I arranged with a second year senior. At night, I had to catch up on my assignments and project work, which took me roughly 3 to 3.5 hours. And for Tuesday, I had another project meeting at 11 a.m., followed by 2 classes. Then in the evening, I stay around in school to do some interview preparation, such as practicing my pitch and reading up more about the company. And at 5:30 p.m., I had another mock interview with a second year. At night, I spent another 3 hours completing my assignments and project work. For Wednesday, I had 2 afternoon classes, followed by the final mock interview that I arranged. Then I devoted 3 more hours to do some final interview prep before resting early for tomorrow. Thursday was my big day. After a short noon class, I spent the entire afternoon for my interview, which was extremely exhausting. At night, I had to meet up again with my teammates for project work because we had a really tight deadline to catch that week. As usual, Friday is my rest day, so I went to the gym in the afternoon. Then I met up with some friends for a birthday celebration. So during this interview season, I typically also sleep at around 1 to 1:30 a.m. and wake up somewhere around 9 to 10 a.m. Comparing the 2 calendars, I would say that definitely the interview season is more intense because we MBA students need to devote several hours each day for interview preparation. And it's especially so for classmates who get multiple interviews within the same week. All in all, I would say that getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep is definitely doable for MBA students as long as we plan our timetable carefully and limit the amount of social activities that we participate in. Of course, everything I have shared is based on my personal experience and the way I allocate my time. So I've actually seen classmates who are busier than me, and I also have encountered classmates who are actually less busy than me. So it'll be really interesting to hear their perspectives as well. Hope this has been an interesting session for everyone. Thank you.